All right, sorry about the how close I am here, but it's cold outside and I've got the heat on, and I didn't want to move anything else for tonight. I'm just out here for an hour or so. So I've got the front half of my touring car body, and this was the one I was going to use on the pickup truck that I'm doing, but I ended up being able to buy a body that was in a lot better condition, and that's going to go on the pickup truck frame. Actually, I can swing around here. I actually already have that body mounted, and I'm starting to do some mock-up there. And that also was a touring car body. It had been hit in the rear, and so I was able to take the rear off, and that's going to work out great for my truck. So that got me going a lot quicker on that project, and as you can see, that one is super solid inside. There's one little rust corner on the bottom left-hand side of the rear corner, so that's really the only rust I have to worry about with that body. So I was really fortunate to be able to buy that. And then with this one, what I'm going to do is turn this into the body for my street rod. And my plan, I have the back of the touring car. Sorry about that terrible camera work. So I'm going to take these back corners and I'm going to weld these in place, and then I'll use the back piece from the touring car. And it looks like things are going to line up really well. The seam will line up once I get everything cut away here. So I'm just in the process of getting rid of the wood piece here, and then I've got the screws out on the left side, and I'm working on taking the screws out over here. Then I can get this back piece moved out of the way. I'll go ahead and cut those lower door trim pieces out on both sides, and then I think I'll be able to get this this panel up. I do need to make a cut. I've got the back of the door jamb, so I'll cut that down through here, and then go ahead and clamp it in place, get some marks, and I'll be able to cut through. I'm hoping what I can do is clamp it in place, and then I can blue wheel down through both that piece that you see there and the body side, somewhere probably down through here, and then I can butt weld those together, and I think that'll give me a really nice joint to mate up there. And I'll have the trim for the mold line and everything still in place, so I think it's going to work out pretty well. All right, I've got that back section out. Now I'll go ahead and cut off these lower pieces for the rear doors, and then I'll be able to clamp those rear pieces for the back of the touring car into place and make the cuts. I did take some measurements. I took a measurement across the body right behind the door here, and then I also took a measurement from, let's see if I can get a pointer here, from the front of the body to the back, to where that back piece went across. And my plan is I want to stretch the body out just a little bit. I think I'm going to add 3 to 4 inches into the length of the body, just to create a little more leg room. I think that'll be a good thing to have. I'm about 6 foot tall. I'm a big guy, so to have a little extra room in there definitely won't hurt, and I think it'll still look good. But before I do any cutting, I'll be able to clamp things in place, get an idea of what it's going to look like from a side view, and I'll show you that when I get to that point. All right, this is my leftover parts from a 23 touring car body. And what I'm going to do is shorten it up and turn it into a body, metal body for my street rod. So what I've done so far, I've got the door clamped into place to hold everything in place. And this area right here is very flimsy. It's rusted out really bad. So once I get the length done here and cut, I'm going to go ahead and tack weld that together, and then I've got a replacement bottom strip to go into place. That's going to end up coming back into here. These corners, I'm just going to have to make a new one. I ordered replacement ones just to make it a little easier, but they're back ordered and they don't know when they're going to come in, so I'll have to make those. So what I did is I tried measuring off the front here, but because of the angle of this panel here as compared to here, it's the angle changes. So this is not as long as this stretch up above. So I ended up taking a measurement from the front edge of the door jamb, and I went just below each of the hinges. So I measured back 22 7/8, and I just wrote that right on the body, and that got me a line right here, and then I was able to extend that down. As I originally cut this apart, I should have been a little more careful with marking a straight line. I went ahead and just cut it, and that was a mistake. It would have been better to mark a nice straight line and make a nice straight cut, so I had a little better reference there. But this is going to work out. I'll get this side done, and then I can, or at least tack together, and then I can flip it over, and I'll be able to just attach it to the other side and get the other side marked so that they match lengthwise. I did trim out a section down here. Again, this was all rotted out. Very similar to this section right here, but that'll all get replaced with new metal. So I'm going to use a blue wheel. I'm just going to go ahead and make a cut down that black line, and then I'll come back and connect this together with some temporary fasteners so I can get it ready to tack weld.